Welcome everybody to part two of the MMA Homies podcast. I'm here with MMAFoo and Red Wolf MMA. Red Wolf MMA is actually on location in London. He's going to be the inside man for the fights, already taking glam shots with all the fighters, even one with Leon Edwards, staff boy himself.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Leon was looking ready today. We had a bit of a disruption in media day with the fucking alarm going off. That was crazy. Do you know what I mean? We were all looking around thinking, are we really going to have to leave in the middle of Leon Edwards getting interviewed? Like, what's going
That
on?
that is so crazy. What happened there?
I think they were testing it. There was but they didn't tell us they were going to test it. And then all of a sudden we're hearing this fucking wee 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 wee, and we're like, is it a test? Because that's lasting a lot longer than we thought it was going to. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't mind before then. We had a half an hour break where they could have tested it. Do you know what I mean? They did it right in the middle of Leon Edwards. So, but
That
like
is so
Leon said,
disrespectful.
I think I saw Bilal in the back messing around with wires. So,
I heard chatter that the company that does the alarms was run by a friend of Bilal's.
a Bilal fan, yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Man, this card is a banger. We already went over the prelims, and those were a banger of fights. And we talked about how there's this sense of a buildup where the fights
Mm.
just keep getting better and better and better as it leads to the main card. And the main card kicks off with Nathaniel Wood versus Morgan Charrier. You know, this is a banger of a fight. It's got fight of the night potential written all over it. Um, Morgan Charrier opened up as a minus 166 favorite to Nathaniel Wood's 140. I've seen a lot of chatter online about Nathaniel Wood being, some people's underdog pick here. Some people really do like the hometown favorite to win this, but man, it's going to be a tough fight.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, who do you got, Wolf? You're this is your
This is my
honorary, this is your thing,
Oh, this is my
London.
boy, Nathaniel Wood. He's a London boy, but me and him get on like very well. We talk all the time. This is like you say. You've described it perfectly. This is going to be a fucking war. One hell of a way to open a main card. Morgan Cherie is an animal, and Nathaniel Wood is a beast. Do you know what I mean? So these two boys are going to go at it. They've both got something to prove. And I don't think they could have made a better matchup, to be honest. And both of these guys wanted it. Both of these guys, got in touch with each other and was like, let's do this. So I think it's going to be both fighters' toughest fight of their careers, respectively. Do you know what I mean? Both of them cage warriors, veterans. They never fought in cage warriors. Nathaniel Wood is on a tear. Do you know what I mean? I think he's highly underrated for what he does. And Morgan Cherie's coming up, and he's like you say, he's phenomenal with what he does. But then again, I think so is Nathaniel Wood. I saw Morgan's little promo today, where he got up and he gets all the crowd behind him and he starts walking with the French. That was pretty cool. Do you know what I mean? So the French are coming to England, and there's always a long-standing beef between the English and the French. You know what I mean? That's been going on for years. So it's going to get settled in the octagon on Saturday night, and you know who I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for the boy Nathaniel Wood gets it done by decision, and this is another one of my potential fight of the nights. Dana
Do you
might have
think
to write.
do you think it'll be a split decision?
Um, I think it'll be close. I think it's going to be close. Yeah, I think, like you say, it's going to be. I think it's not going to be a shutout from either fighter. Do you know what I mean? I think it's going to be very very close. But I think Nathaniel gets it. I really do think Nathaniel gets it. I think because he's going to mix up the grappling. He mixes the martial arts very well. You saw that in the last fight against Pineda. And I think he needs to find the kill shot, the kill switch. Do you know what I mean? And once he rocks Morgan, he needs to go for the kill, but also be careful of Morgan's counter striking. And that's where this could be turns into a war, a back and forth. Both guys get dropped, both guys get hurt, and both guys keep swinging until until one of them falls
Until
or
one
the
of them
ref
goes
separates.
down. I
Yeah.
like that. I like that. What about you, fool? How do you see this going down?
This was a hard pick for me, man. I could go any way, like coin flip, like you say.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna rock with the home. Usually, depends on the location and place. I usually rock with the home guy, and also because he's a little more seasoned and he's beat a little better guys. I mean that win against Charles Jourdain. Not anybody can beat Charles Jourdain. I mean, takes
Yeah.
a dog. So I feel like that Charles Rosa fight, Andre Philly. They're good fights, man. So he's been proven going to war. Just don't get caught, like you said, like the counter, anything counter. But I see him winning,
Hmm.
probably by decision. It'll
Mm.
be a good fight, though. It'll be a war. It'll kind of like Chepe Mariscal against Morgan.
Yeah.
That's what I can picture the
Yeah,
fight being like. That's the vibes all over, same type beat.
I initially was going Nathaniel Wood too. I was going to pick him, one of my dogs. I had about 4 or 5 of them that I was looking at to see which one I thought had the best opportunity. And Wood just continually kept coming up with the caliber of opponents that he's fought, the people that he's beat. But it's been a while since he's beat those opponents, and I feel like he's had a sort of knee issue during training camp. I don't know if that affected the if that affected I'm not going to say it affected his training camp or his ability to train. I'm wondering if it's going to affect his ability to plant and to pivot and to transition because Charrier is no slouch grappling either. He's pretty aggressive in the grappling exchanges too, although he tries to use them to reverse and then get back into uh, um, striking exchanges. But he he's no slouch in the grappling game either. I think he does have all the advantages as far as all the significant advantages um, uh, compared to the important ones, the takedown average, takedown defense, takedown accuracy over Nathaniel Wood. And, over the long run, I'm wondering how Wood's knee is going to hold up against a very aggressive Charrier. So I'm going to pick Charrier by split decision.
Mm. So this time it's 2-1. It was all the prelims was 2-1. Now we're going the opposite.
Now we're
But
going
yeah,
the opposite.
going the opposite.
But I wouldn't be mad if Wood won. I'm totally going for the hometown hero on this one. I'm going for all the hometown fellas, even though
Yeah,
I'm picking against some of them. In my heart, I'm always going for the London fighters when they're at home. I go for the Mexican fighters where they're in Mexico. And I go for the Americans when they fight here and it's an international fight.
yeah.
So
And Donald Trump is present.
yeah, you got it. It's sort of mandatory now. Like, I don't want us to get shut down or I don't want to get any of the homies arrested.
I
So,
might get arrested over it. I have to be careful what I say. My prime minister will lock me up. So
oh Lord, man.
don't
So
give us that. That's another podcast. That's another episode.
if that first fight wasn't good enough and a banger of a fight and a coin flip, this next fight itself is another banger of a fight. Jordan Vucenic versus Chris Duncan. Another one where I was eyeballing Chris Duncan in the beginning, like, this dude has a chance. I don't know why the inflated odds for Jordan Vucenic. Then I watched some tape and I'm like, yeah, Jordan, he is a dynamic striker. He's got some slick submissions. Uh, Chris Duncan's a dog, he loves a fight, but when I was watching that Oki fight, I saw Oki land some pretty significant shots, some pretty nice shots. If Oki wasn't such a bum on the ground, maybe he could have caused Duncan some problems. So Vucenic is much better on the ground um, than Oki was. I just wonder, how that cardio is going to hold up.
Yeah, it's like I say, they've treated us. They've treated us really well to have Nathaniel Wood and Morgan, and then Vucenic and Chris Duncan, because both of these boys are going to throw down like their life depends on it. Again, we mentioned it about England versus France. England versus Scotland again is another long-running feud that is never going to be resolved. Do you know what I mean? So both of these boys, great guys. I met both of them today. They're chilled, they're ready, they're excited. They both really, really, really want to go. I think this is going to turn into a grappler's delight. I think there's going to be a lot of striking exchanges where they're going to go hell for leather. There's going to be a lot of blood. This is going to be a just bleed fight. But I think there's going to be a lot of grappling involved. There's going to be a lot of transitions, reversals, submission chasing. Like I say, Duncan isn't really known as a submission artist, but when he fought Oki, he put the guy to sleep with that guillotine. He nearly took his head off with it.
That was nasty, bro. That was the most horrible, the most horrible calling that the UFC ever did. It wasn't Bisbee was like, "Oh, he's out. He's out. Oh my God." And he's literally out. He thought he was like out of the hold.
Yeah.
He escaped. It was basically a fucking corpse lying on top of Duncan, dude.
He was limp. He was absolutely gone. He's what I'm going to be like if I keep drinking this week.
Out like a light.
That's the one. But we talked earlier about the way that they moved the card around, and this initially wasn't going to be on the main card, but I'm glad they did. I'm glad they put it up there. I think this is going to be a top one. As for who wins, again, it's really tough. This is a coin flip for me, but I'm going to have to go with Vucenic. I think he can sub him. I think he can sub Duncan. Don't know when, and I hope it goes, over 2 rounds maybe. But yeah, it's Vucenic's, Jordan Vucenic's getting this one. What about Foo? Oh,
I like Jordan right here to get a rear naked choke. I was gonna say at the end of the first round, but I think in the second round he submits Duncan with a rear naked choke.
Specifically a rear naked.
Not any submission. A rear naked choke. Duncan's gonna get rear naked choked in the second round.
I like that. I was again flip-flopping. I think I'm taking Jordan Vucenic as well. 3-way here for Jordan Vucenic. The Monte Carlos actually have Duncan to win 65% of the fight, 50% of it by KO, and Vucenic 25% of it by submission. So I'm going against the Monte Carlos. Monte Carlos are just programs with, and they're only as good as the odds that we put in them, but they're interesting in the outputs that they have. It makes you take a look at Chris Duncan's ability to get in there and throw a significant strike, but Jordan Vucenic, I think his movement's too good. Concern again is his cardio, but yeah, I think he gets it done as well. Submission, that'd be awesome, right?
Yeah. I mean, like I say, you look at the Jordan Vucenic versus Guram fight we talked about earlier in the prelims. That was a war, and it was a hell of a way for Jordan to come into the UFC. And with Guram, he didn't submit him. He couldn't submit him, and he couldn't knock him out. So Vucenic's got heart, and he's got a chin, and he's got a way to win. And I love how Fu even called the specific submission. So write that down, boys. Rear naked choke, second round.
And Vucenic fucked him up too in that.
Yeah.
I mean, he had Guram looking all kinds of ugly. I mean, exactly. and Guram doesn't need any help with that either.
Chill on Connor Burks, bro. Everybody says that he looks like Connor Burks.
I know, bro.
Shout out to Connor Burks. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Connor Burks.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people don't like Ariel and that crew, but yeah, I'm a big fan of them and their work. So shout out to especially Connor. He's a cool guy.
He is a cool guy. Cool guy.
Shout out to Connor. Next up, we got Alexa Tianara, who's a late replacement fight, versus Molly Meatball McCann.
Oh, Molly McCann.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, Molly
Molly McCann. Come on.
You know,
Oh,
Molly
Molly
McCann.
McCann.
I don't.
Come
Why?
on,
I
Van.
mean,
Come on.
no. Oh, Molly McCann. Okay, that's it. That's it. But that was just for you, bro, because uh, I
Just because of
mean,
the party. Just because of the party. It's all right.
it's exactly just because of the party, bro. But aside from that, I don't know what she's gonna bring to this table. You know, she lost to Bruna Brazil. She lost to Stolyarenko. Blanchfield, I get that loss, but that was a sub in round one. Um, she beat Anna Goldie and Diana Belbita in the last five fights.
Luana
So
Carolina.
not in the last five fights.
Oh, no, not in the last 5 fights. Okay.
Yeah, that was when Meatball was still.
That was 3 years ago. Yeah.
That was before the dental work.
Well,
You
yeah,
know?
okay. Yeah.
Now Molly's got, something to protect, and I've seen a difference in her fighting. But
Yeah.
Alexia, she's the younger fighter. She's coming in late replacement, but I think she's going to be able to get a win here. I dare say by knockout.
Mm.
She's going to basically fuck up McCann.
Oh,
Bro,
disrespectful.
I don't think McCann's got anything. I think McCann's
Yeah.
done, bro. She's yeah, I think she's been done. And I'm just sort of surprised she's in it for one more time. And I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I'm going to look up to see how many fights are left on her contract. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the last one. Do you have any inside word on that?
No, not on much, but she gets signed again. She gets signed again, I reckon. If it is the last one, she gets signed again.
If she loses?
Yeah. Because she's Molly
You're
McCann.
fucking drunk. You're drunk. That's why. All logic and shit's out the table.
Oh,
You got a British
no.
flag hiding somewhere in there and shit, dude. Fucking bro. If she loses, you think the UFC is gonna sign her again?
I think so, only because it's Molly. It's Molly McCann. Do you know what I mean? Molly and Paddy come like together. Do you know what I mean? But
So you can't break the couple apart.
exactly.
Can't break Sonny and Cher apart.
Cher and Sunny, did you say? First of all, before I say my pick, I think you already know what my pick is. But let's go with Foo. Come on.
All right, fool. Who you got? Meatball or?
I gotta rock with Meatball, man. Come on. It's. I know every time she fights somebody good, I always gotta rock with her, man. She's a warrior. She goes in there, if she's gonna get knocked out or she's gonna try to get the knockout. But yeah, I see her. I mean, here you go. The crowd's gonna be an issue here. Maybe it'll get under
Big issue, yeah.
Homegirl.
Yeah, we're gonna be chanting. We're gonna be chanting that Molly McCann chant.
Yeah, I think that the atmosphere is gonna be incredible. It'll be a close fight. I mean, if it goes to decision, she might get a split victory. I also can see her getting finished. I didn't see too much tape on Alexia, but I know Molly, man. I've seen her in Molly, and she is a warrior. She's from over there, like you literally have to fucking shoot them or stab them, bro, to stop them. So
yeah, exactly.
Is there any word on McCann's ankle?
So
there was some buzz that she had an ankle injury.
Yeah, so I was waiting for you to go because I've actually been seeing Molly all day. To be like literally morning to afternoon, right? And she's here right now. No, I'm just. Oh! she's about to come and talk to Von, but she's about to
she's pissed.
But no, Molly. Do you know what? Her ankle looked fine. She was walking around. She was limp. There was no usually when your ankle's giving you jip, you're kind of shaking it about. She wasn't moving it at all. She looks good. She looks really good. She looks slimmer. She looks happier. She looks more focused, and she just seems more energetic. She seems ready. Like she could go tonight if she wanted to. Is it a tough fight? Of course it is. Of course it is. But the what's her name, Alexis? Like you say, she's coming off the Contender Series. Nice win, but I think she's inexperienced, whereas Molly's got the experience. And it's a late notice change, but Molly doesn't care about that shit. Molly doesn't care who it is. She'll go in there. And like I say, yeah, the loss to Bruno Brazil was, it was heartbreaking. But I think something was maybe troubling Molly in that fight as well. Going into that fight, should I say? So experience should win out, and Molly needs a win. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, Von, if she loses, is there a possibility she gets cut? Of course. Do you know what I mean? I hope not. But she knows she needs a win. She in front of a home crowd as well. Do you know what I mean? We'll be shouting. We'll be doing Molly McCann all night. So yeah, I'm rooting for Molly big time. But it's an important fight. It's an important fight for her.
It is, and I feel like it's important for her not to get taken down and to keep this fight standing up. Because if Tayanara can take her to the ground and she has a 100% takedown accuracy rate, if she can take McCann down, and she's going to try to, she's just going to do the control and ground and pound game. So McCann certainly needs a game plan for Tayanara to continually be trying to grapple, clinch, double underhook, pull, take her down.
Yeah.
So she's gonna have to make her pay somehow to.
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. And Molly's been working on the ground game. Like I say, she trains with Paddy, who is probably one of the most underrated grapplers in the UFC right now. And very, very, very skilled. There was a lot of people I was talking to today about Paddy, and we were saying, like, even some of the American coaches, they really respect Paddy because they can see how dangerous and tough he is. And Molly and Paddy train closely a lot every day. So yeah, I'm agreeing with Von. I think it's going to be a split decision, but I think it goes Meatball's way.
Yeah.
All right, so we got 2 meatballs and 1 spaghetti.
I think the crowd will be the difference, man. Going from the Apex Contender Series to going and fighting with that crowd, it's going to be fun.
Enemy territory, we're going to be booing the fuck out of her. Like, I'm no disrespect.
And you have a debutante fighting a veteran.
Exactly.
That certainly weighs in for Molly McCann. I'm rooting for McCann, but I think Tayanara is just going to take her down and control her, especially if McCann's ankle gets, if that's just like a few weeks a week.
We're jumping on a Zoom and we're doing the full Molly McCann chant with you, Von.
Right.
That's it.
That's the bet. That's down. I'm down for that.
That's the one.
All right. Next up, we got Gunnar Nelson versus Kevin Holland. It's been a while since Gunnar Nelson stepped in. Sort of seems like he only does these European cards. But nevertheless, here he is, and he's a pretty nice favorite. I mean, he didn't start at for me, he's a nice favorite. I got him as a minus 207 favorite over Kevin Never Show Holland.
I thought it was me that was drunk tonight.
Bro, I mean, Holland's lost 4 of his last 5 fights. Headed there to significant competition. But nevertheless, he still isn't doing very well. 4 of his last fights being losses, whereas you have Gunnar Nelson, 3 of his last 5 are wins. His only 2 losses are to Leon Edwards and Gilbert Burns. He seems to have all the advantages as far as the significant metrics here: strike accuracy, takedown accuracy, takedown defense, takedown average, submission average. So Holland is really going to have to keep this standing up because Gunnar is just, that's his game plan, right? All his strikes are really set up to take his opponent down. And once he's got him down, it's about which submission he's going to utilize.
Yeah.
Now, Holland's no slouch on the ground, but he's definitely lost. I mean, we saw what de Ritter did to him in the first round. It seemed pretty easy to submit him.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to take Gunnar. Basically, I'm going to take anyone against Holland until Holland proves me wrong. And Gunnar Nelson's the guy up right now. All the odds and metrics line up in his favor, so it's not that outlandish of a pick. I'm taking Gunnar Nelson to win by submission.
Yeah. Very similar, similar sentiments. The only thing I say, like you hit the nail on the head. I've also today I've been chatting to Bob Perez, who is Kevin's Muay Thai coach, Derek Lewis's Muay Thai coach, and we've been talking a lot about Kevin and Derek and stuff like that. And the game plan is clear. You know, Kevin needs to stay on the feet. Do you know what I mean? But we also said the same thing. We also agreed that Kevin's jiu-jitsu is quite, surprising. You know, he submitted Chiesa, who's no slouch on the ground himself. But can he out-grapple and submit someone like Gunnar Nelson, who is probably one of the best ones we've seen? You know, and like you say, I think they just put him in a freezer and then they defrost him because we've got a UFC London card. It's like, Gunnar, it's time to come out of the freezer now. We need you to go. I saw Gunnar as well, and again, he looked so happy to be back. You know, I said, it's good to have you back. And the first thing he said was, "It's really good to be back." You know, so he's hungry, he's happy, he wants to be here, and he can't wait to put on a show. Same again with Kevin. Kevin Holland. I've seen him knocking about today. He looks focused. He looks. I don't want to say.
He was ready to fight media.
Oh yeah. He's that's what I mean. He's in the zone. He's ready to go now. Do you know what I mean? He's turning heel. He's like, and I think since the Jackson podcast, he's gone, well, I may as well lean into this now. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I like Kevin. Kevin's team are great guys. Bob Perez, big shout out to Bob Perez. Might be hopefully doing some podcasts with Bob soon. But yeah, I feel like Gunnar's gonna get this, because if Kevin doesn't stay on the feet, if Kevin gets taken down, Gunnar's got this. If Kevin can stay on the feet, Kevin's got this. I think that's the way I see it going. I think Foo's probably along the same lines.
Yeah, bro. Go.
Go. We need to practice that.
Go. Yeah, you gotta root against them. You always go for the Vikings. Whenever somebody is like, oh, this motherfucker was born where the Vikings are from. I gotta rock with him, especially with touching up with Vaughn said. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the big mouth that joined the UFC. It's not the same big mouth, I think it's all money now. I got to rock with Gunnar just because I lost the hype on Kevin. And hopefully he proves me wrong, because he's still a good, entertaining fighter. As much as he talks shit, and when he's when he's locked in, bro, he's locked the fuck in. And he's one of the most dangerous strikers and fucking submission guys. Like, if he gets the right matchup, obviously. Because you can tell, like, when he gets a grappler, he gives up right away. Like Hamzat fucking didn't even try, and it's all mental. I just think, let's see. He's going against a tough crowd. He likes to talk shit. Hopefully, he doesn't get in his mind all that. But I think the crowd's going to be there, especially for Gunnar. And I see him. I think he gets a submission. I think he can pull off a submission. And
all right,
just grind it out. He'll grind it out and make him quit somehow.
So we got three Gunners, the three Nelsons. Everybody's lost faith in Holland.
The three full Nelsons.
We got a pretty interesting fight, and maybe a title contender fight between Carlos Ulberg and Jan Blachowicz. Ulberg's the up and comer here, and he's highly favored. I got him pretty heavily favored too, over the 42-year-old old Polish man. I mean, that's the big thing for me: the wear and tear on that vehicle, the age, the mileage on that engine. It's a lot. And Carlos Ulberg is no slouch. Can Jan wrestle him? Yeah. Will he try? Probably. But Jan loves to kickbox. That's his big bread and butter too, is that kickboxing style. And I think that plays right into Ulberg's game. I think this is sort of Ulberg's coming out party, to tell you the truth. Sort of a passing of the guard. I know that Blachowicz feels that this is his last hurrah, but I honestly think this is going to be a passing of the guard. We're going to get an Ulberg KO, probably round 2.
Ooh, ooh, that's it's an interesting one. I want Foo to go first for this one. Go on, I want to see what Foo's thinking. Foo's gone sideways. Foo, there you go.
He's trying to get his mic on mic.
Still muted. All right. I'll go first. So Yang's a legend. Like absolutely, I've got a lot of time for Yang. He's one of my favorite fighters. Like I say, yeah, he's a vet. He's very, very underrated for what he does. I mean, look at the Piera fight. I mean, I posted a video. No, sorry, the Ankalaev fight, where a lot of people say he won that fight, and he absolutely destroyed Ank's legs. The Piera fight, I've seen people arguing, and maybe they have a point saying that Yang won that fight. He's 42 years old though, and like you say, he's been out for I want to say nearly 2 years. 2023 was the Piera fight was his last fight. He's been getting some injuries worked. He's been getting surgery. He's been, so that always worries me. And I say that every time when a fighter's been out for a while, it worries me. And especially when you're up against a young, hungry up and comer like Carlos Ulberg, it's both guys have got something to prove, but Carlos might have more to prove. It's a really tough one for me to choose because there's a lot of. For me, this is a kind of head versus heart type of thing. My heart's saying Jan, my head's saying Carlos. And I feel like I'm going to go and say Jan decision.
Oh,
well, Fu popped back up then just in time.
I was listening. I was trying to get my mic on.
Sorry, but yeah, I feel I'm going to say Jan decision. I feel like even though he's been out for a bit, experience wins out. This is his let me get this right. 31st fight. No, it's not. It's 40. Anyway, he's had a fucking hell of a lot of fights. You know what I mean? And I think experience is going to play a key role in this one. Leg kicks, grappling. I don't think he'll finish Ulberg. I think he might go to a decision.
Okay, who you got?
I was thinking the same. At first, I was leaning with Ulberg because I'm a big fan of Ulberg. But I feel like John can put 3 solid rounds. Because of experience and everything. He's fought everybody. He's gone to war, and I feel like if Ulberg can't get the gas tank, if his gas tank gives out, I see John with a championship pedigree pulling it off with a decision too. Just a masterpiece, just a striking clinic, leg kicks, using everything, to try to maybe even mix in a takedown. Just get Carlos tired, take him to deep waters where he's gonna try to knock him out, so he's gotta be ready to counter everything or just be ready to strike whenever Carlos is not obviously trying to rip his head off. But yeah, I see him doing that.
Do you think there's a lot of recency bias from all the Ankalaev footage of Jan beating up those legs and people being like, oh, yeah, that's what he did, and thinking that that's what he's going to replicate with Ulberg?
I think he makes it up. Like people could, he could think, Carlos could think that's coming, but he could always mix up his striking or go for takedowns, like he did with Izzy. But Izzy's obviously a smaller guy. But yeah. I think that
being 42 years old doesn't bother you at all?
No, not because he's got legendary Polska power, man. Come on. What you know about that?
Here's what I know. I'm 49. I'm gonna be 50 next month, and I know what in the fucking 40s. So,
Dude, I'm 41 and my back's killing me from just sitting down for talking to you guys
for real.
But yeah,
All right. So
I
we
see
got
the veteran.
2 Jans then,
He'll
and
be a
1
gate.
Oberg.
I feel like he's a
on this
gatekeeper
one.
now, man.
Interesting. I do too, and that's why I think there's going to be a passing of the baton.
Yeah,
if you will.
I mean, obviously, it'll be a good win for Oldberg either way. It'll be a good on his resume because then
Great opportunity.
he's bidding a big name, an ex-champion,
Great
to say the
opportunity.
least.
I will say either way, this is going to be a great fight. This is a really good co-main for London, and we're all very excited about it.
Most definitely. Most definitely. All right.